Okay, folks, happy Monday, the 17th of November, 2025, and we're just going to have a look at markets. The VWAP report itself is delayed until tomorrow. Now, the two things really that are quite major that have occurred over the weekend, Friday, and over the weekend. So, number one is NFP is going to be released for September this Thursday. So the September jobs report is actually going to be released this Thursday. So you could imagine that, well, let's not guess whether it's a good or a bad report. I think it's going to not be great. But the markets seem to be pricing in quite a few participants like Peter Thiel and others exiting their Nvidia stocks. The macro just seems to be de-risking the coming out of the lockdown, basically. So that's kind of one of the major events, really. I think that's going to be playing out this week is sort of de-risking coming out of the lockdown, and this data then all kind of come back over the next week or so. That's one thing. The other thing is the Bank of Japan are liquidating their US Treasury holdings and increasing their interest rates. Now, for as long as I can remember, the Bank of Japan has kept interest rates at low, as low and as close to zero as possible. They're now pushing that to 1.7, I think, percent. Net net, that is going to be a bit of a vacuum of liquidity into the US markets. Okay. So they're liquidating and repatriating that sort of money, if you like. And that in itself is a liquidity drain event on US markets. And you could say on global markets somewhat because of the trickle down effect. We're not really going to get into that. What I want to get to here is just having a pure look at VWAP on a lot of these markets and what I am looking at to play out here. Okay, and number one on that will go to SPOOs, S&P 500 futures. I think we are going to come down, hit the yearly plus one deviation, 65.78 this week. If we do that ahead of Thursday's NFP release, September NFP release, that could cause then a drive point, so a bullish touch on the yearly plus one. And as per this system, that will be the first of the year, the first IPB long yearly plus one. I think that would make a lot of sense. We push down to here, bulls cram in, and we keep going. We wash out any NFP data that comes on Thursday, whatever it is. That's just a technical setup. Looking over at the Dow, very similar setup coming. And we actually haven't had a nice clean test of that area. We've come close, but no cigar here. All right. NASDAQ, very similar setup. Yearly plus one, setting up for a contact. We'll just take that little buying nudge and put that over there. There is sort of a step that was at play back here. I think that should probably be brought up